The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. St. Augustine. Here's the thing. Silence can be powerful, but sometimes silence is a form of surrender. There are moments in life when holding your tongue isn't wisdom, it's weakness. And for a man trying to live by Stoic principles, knowing when to speak up is just as important as knowing when to stay still. So today, we're breaking down 5 situations where a man should never stay silent, guided by the timeless lessons of Stoic philosophers. Because Stoicism isn't about being emotionless, it's about being intentional. And silence, used wrongly, can cost you your integrity, your peace, and your self-respect. We live in a world that often confuses silence with strength. You've probably heard people say, "Real men don't complain," or "Just keep your head down and deal with it." But Stoicism teaches something deeper. It's not about suppressing yourself, it's about mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius didn't stay silent when his duty called. Seneca didn't stay silent when he saw corruption in Nero's court. Epictetus, born a slave, didn't stay silent about the power of the mind over circumstance. So the question is, when should you refuse to stay silent? Let's break it down. 1. When truth is being twisted. Imagine this. You're in a conversation, maybe at work, maybe online, and someone is spreading lies or bending the truth about a person, about a principle, or even about you. The Stoics would tell you this is not the time to stay silent. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That applies both ways. If something false is being said, truth demands a voice. Here's why it matters. Silence in the face of falsehood gives it strength. Lies grow in the dark. You don't need to argue or shout. Stoicism doesn't call for noise, it calls for clarity. Speak calmly, speak factually, and let your character back your words. Next time someone distorts the truth, whether it's gossip in your friend group or misinformation at work, step in with reason, not emotion. Say, "I don't think that's accurate," or "That's not the full picture." You're not picking a fight, you're protecting integrity, yours and the truth's. Seneca said, "He who does not prevent a crime when he can, encourages it." And yes, letting lies pass unchecked is a kind of encouragement. 2. When injustice is happening. Silence in the face of injustice is one of the easiest traps for a peaceful man to fall into. We think staying calm means staying quiet, but Stoicism was never about being passive. Epictetus taught that we don't control what happens, only how we respond. So when injustice happens, to you or to someone else, your response defines your character. Let's take Marcus Aurelius as an example. As emperor, he faced corruption, betrayal, and war. He could have looked away from the suffering of ordinary citizens, but he didn't. He wrote in his meditations, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." In other words, if your society suffers, you do too. Justice is everyone's responsibility. When you see someone being mistreated, whether it's a co-worker being unfairly blamed or a stranger being disrespected, say something. You don't have to be dramatic. Sometimes one sentence like, "That's not right," changes the entire tone of the room. And remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's doing what's right despite it. A Stoic man doesn't chase comfort, he chases virtue. 3. When you need to set boundaries. Here's one that hits home for a lot of people, staying silent when someone crosses your line. Stoics valued peace of mind above all else, but peace doesn't come from letting others walk over you. It comes from clarity and discipline. Seneca once said, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. If you keep allowing disrespect, manipulation, or overwork, and you stay silent, you're teaching others that your silence means consent." Boundaries aren't aggression, they're self-respect in action. Epictetus told his students to keep your will in harmony with nature. That means acting according to reason, and reason tells us that saying no is sometimes the most rational and honorable thing you can do. If your boss keeps piling work on you unfairly, speak up. If a friend only calls when they need something, speak up. Say, I value our relationship, but this isn't working for me. It's not confrontation, it's clarity. And Stoics valued clarity more than comfort. 4. When you're grateful or when you love someone. Not every silence is about conflict. Sometimes men stay silent when their heart should speak, when they feel gratitude, admiration, or love. Why? Because it feels vulnerable. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's honesty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to be helped." That applies to expressing appreciation too. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline, not emotional suppression. If someone's been kind to you, say it. If you love someone, tell them. Silence in these moments creates regret. And regret, as Seneca said, is the price of inaction. Call your mentor and thank them. Tell your parents you appreciate what they've done. Send a message to that friend who's always there for you. This is how you practice Stoic gratitude, by making virtue visible, not private. 5. When you're standing up for your principles. The last, and maybe the hardest, time a man should never stay silent, when his principles are on the line. Stoicism is built on virtue, and virtue means living according to reason, courage, justice, and self-discipline, no matter the cost. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, when you live by your principles, people might mock you, they might not understand. Stay unmoved. Marcus Aurelius faced this daily. As emperor, he had to make choices that angered powerful men. But he reminded himself, just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. If your values are tested, don't hide them to fit in. Whether it's refusing to take part in something unethical at work, or standing by your beliefs when others fold, your silence here is surrender. And a Stoic man does not surrender his character for comfort. Because in the end, your principles are the only thing no one can take from you. You can lose your money, your reputation, even your freedom, but your integrity is yours to protect or to give away. Let's bring it all together. Stoicism isn't about staying silent or emotionless. It's about speaking and acting with purpose. So remember these 5 times a man should never stay silent. When truth is being twisted, when injustice is happening, when you need to set boundaries, when you feel gratitude or love, when your principles are at stake. Each of these moments tests your courage and your clarity. And silence in these moments isn't golden, it's corrosive. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." So speak the truth, defend what's right, protect your peace, express your gratitude. Don't let fear turn you mute. Because silence can protect your ego, but truth protects your soul. If this message hit home, take a minute today to reflect. Is there something you've been staying silent about? A truth you've been avoiding? A boundary you've been afraid to set? Start there. Speak calmly. Speak honestly. Speak with reason, and you'll be living the Stoic way. Thanks for watching Stoic Wisdom. If this helped you see Stoicism in a new light, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. And remember, the Stoic path isn't about being perfect, it's about being present, disciplined, and true. See you in the next one.